Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Breguet La Tradition Automatique Seconde Retrograde. 40mm in 18 karat white gold. You can see and you can purchase this vintage evocative Breguet timepiece on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full commercial listing for this automatic Breguet, along with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and of course complete pricing details for this timepiece. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, this is a watch whose size is often misread. It doesn't give you the typical styling cues as reference points that you get from a normal wristwatch. So when you see this watch on the internet, oftentimes the impression is of a much larger, even oversized timepiece. In fact, this watch is perfectly sized. A 40mm case that is the very definition of a round case. It features small, nicely tapered lugs so that it wears easy. The 40mm is across the round of the case, not including the crown. It's wonderfully slim. Although on paper 12mm is not ultra thin, the step of the bezel and the generous slope of that beautiful domed sapphire means that a formal sleeve or a tight cuff easily slides up over the side of this watch. Now if you were to measure it from extremity to extremity, it's a bit broader perhaps than you would expect of a 40mm timepiece, as it does measure 50mm from lug to lug. But again, it's very compact in practice. On the wrist it wears well, and it would wear well, in my opinion, on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference, assuming a typical oval wrist profile. Now it is of white gold, so it has a nice heft to it, but most of the front and back of the watch is comprised of sapphire, so it isn't excessively heavy. It's a little bit airier and lighter than you would expect. It's satisfying. It doesn't feel like it's made of carbon or ceramic or anything of that type, but again, a little bit lighter than a typical precious metal watch because it is so open. It is all about exposing the movement. The strap is substantial and it's held on by lugs that are actually fixed to the strap by screws. A little bit more expensive, but exactly what you want to see on a high-value watch, especially one of this caliber. Folded strap, it's a beautiful black with a monotone stitch, minimally bolstered. Like the watch itself, it's nice and slim, and it's paired with a vintage evocative Breguet white gold pin buckle, all of high polish. Now all of the Breguet signatures are respected. You can see the cold rolled coined case sides, finished by hand. Cold rolled and hand finished is expensive, but again, this is the flagship of the Swatch Group. They are not cutting costs or pinching pennies. The lugs are straight, and you can see the hands themselves on the minimalist silvered gold dial. Yes, it is a gold dial with hand-laid guilloche. Breguet style hands, stylized Roman numerals, the guilloche itself a Breguet tradition, and the watch, La Tradition, a line established in 2005. It finally answered the question, what is Breguet about? What is the identity of the brand in the wristwatch era under Swatch? With the original 7027 La Tradition, Breguet established a design language that became an instant icon, tying the modern luxury watch concept to the company's watchmaking heritage in one seamless package. Here we have the 2015 10th anniversary evolution of the concept. This came out at Basel World 2015, exactly 10 years after the manual winding original, and it features an automatic winding system that energizes a centrally located mainspring barrel. You can see it's actually on the dial side of the watch, has a 50-hour power reserve, and a balance that beats at 3 Hz or 21,600 vibrations per hour. Now you'll note the parachute shock absorption system borrowed from Breguet's own pocket watch innovations. So this is an ink block, it's not Kif, it's Breguet's own system, and an elaborate heritage-inspired one. Now when you pull the crown, you do halt the balance, and you'll note it is a free-sprung balance. Modern standards as well as historic traditions are well represented here. Now the watch has a retrograding seconds indicator that you can see at 9 o'clock on the dial, and every 60 seconds it jumps. It adds a little bit more animus, a little bit more dynamism to the dial of the watch. When you look at close range, all of the modern standards of high horology finish are beautifully respected, from polished screw heads with chamfered slots to nicely chamfered spokes of the individual wheels of the drivetrain. You can see that the power flows from the mainspring barrel through what would conventionally be called the center wheel, the third wheel, the fourth wheel, the escapement, and into that immense balance. Now the finish is a sort of rusticated, almost sandblasted look that you would expect on a vintage pocket watch, translated into a wristwatch format. And just for edification and amusement, you can see how the winding rotor works within the case. Now, the movement itself is known as the Breguet caliber 5055R1. It's automatic, 38 joules. Exceptionally, it's adjusted in 6 positions, and it even manages to pair a Breguet style overcoil with a silicon composition. And creating that 3-dimensional Breguet overcoil in silicon is one of the toughest tasks in modern materials science within the watch industry. In general, overcoils have been given up by those brands using silicon hairsprings. Here at Breguet, you get the best of both worlds, an amagnetic hairspring and the heritage correct overcoil for concentric beating in any position. Again, this watch adjusted in 6 positions. It is a chronometer standard of timekeeping, even though it lacks the COSC certificate. It features 3 ATM water resistance, so while it's a modern format, it's not a sports watch. But can you think of anything more elegant to wear at a night at the opera? You can see and you can purchase this Breguet La Tradition Automatique Seconde Retrograde on our website.